In the late 17th and early 18th centuries, the Caribbean became a lawless battleground of high-seas robbery, giving rise to history's most infamous pirates. Fueled by war, unemployment, and the promise of quick riches, former privateers and rogue sailors, of course, turned to piracy, targeting Spanish galleons and merchant ships loaded with gold, sugar, and tobacco. With loads of these hidden coves around and remote islands as their bases, they built a criminal empire, raiding trade routes and outmaneuvering all of these colonial navies. But the Golden Age didn't last forever. By the 1720s, European powers had had enough. Britain and Spain cracked down hard, deploying warships, issuing royal pardons to deserters, and executing captured pirates in public hangings. The message was clear. Piracy was no longer just a nuisance, it was an enemy of the state, and one by one, the legendary outlaws of the Caribbean met their fate. The world of crypto has been compared to the pirate-filled waters of the early 18th century Caribbean, and for good reason too. Just like the lawless seas of old, the digital frontier is filled with treasure, deception, and rogue operators looking to exploit the unwary. Instead of these old coves, modern-day cyber swindlers hide behind VPNs, encrypted messages, and autonomous wallets. Instead of raiding galleons, they pump worthless tokens, orchestrate multi-million-dollar rug pulls, and siphon stolen Bitcoin through mixing services. But just like the empires of the past, law enforcement has taken notice. The FBI, once focused on traditional financial crimes, has stepped up to the challenge, setting traps, infiltrating criminal networks, and seizing billions in stolen crypto. Over the past decade, the Bureau has launched a series of high-stakes stings, proving that even the Wild West of digital finance, the long arm of the law, still reaches deep. Let's count down the top 5 FBI crypto stings. Modern-day pirate takedowns where scammers thought they were untouchable until the feds came knocking. Let's kick off the countdown with number 5. In January of 2024, the FBI launched Operation Level Up, a nationwide crackdown on cryptocurrency investment fraud, specifically targeting pig butchering scams. This is a scheme where fraudsters build online relationships, fake ones, and they convince their victims to invest in fraudulent crypto platforms before vanishing with their money. Unlike traditional stings, this operation focused on the prevention, with the FBI stepping in before the victims lost everything.
Typically, the FBI takes a reactive stature towards these types of crimes, but this is the first proactive measure that we're taking to get in front of victims before they lose more money. By
January of 2025, the operation had notified 4,323 victims across all 50 states, with 76% of them being unaware that they were being scammed. The early intervention prevented $285 million in potential losses, and in a tragic reality of these scams, 42 individuals were referred for suicide intervention due to the emotional and financial devastation they faced. The FBI warned the public about common red flags, including unsolicited investment offers, pressure to move conversations to encrypted apps, and promises of unrealistic returns. Their message: if you can't withdraw your money without extra fees, it's a scam. Operation Level Up set a new precedent, proving that law enforcement can fight financial crime in real time, protecting victims before they lose everything. In at number 4 comes Disruptor. In September of 2020, the FBI, in collaboration with Europol and law enforcement agencies across the globe, launched Operation Disruptor, a takedown targeting dark web drug markets running on cryptocurrency. While many thought the Silk Road shutdown in 2013 would kill darknet marketplaces, and yes, that's also on our list today, the reality was different. New sites emerged with vendors using Bitcoin and Monero to facilitate illicit trades. The feds, however, they were watching. Over the course of months, the FBI infiltrated dark web marketplaces, tracking sellers who used crypto mixers and privacy coins to launder their proceeds. And by the time the operation wrapped up, authorities had arrested 179 suspects across the US and Europe. They seized $6.5 million in crypto and cash and confiscated 500 kilograms of illegal drugs. Investigators targeted vendors who believed they were operating anonymously, but blockchain analysis proved otherwise. Despite Monero's privacy features, law enforcement still traced transactions back to real-world arrests. Operation Disruptor came as the crypto market was beginning to take off at the start of the 2020s, and demonstrated that the myth of complete anonymity in crypto was now well and truly dead.
Operation Disruptor is the department's latest effort to combat the scourge of opioid trafficking on the darknet.
The FBI leveraged advanced tracking tools, darknet informants, and old-school undercover work to connect wallet addresses to real identities. Essentially, as the dark web continues evolving, so does law enforcement. In October of 2024, the FBI pulled off one of its most ambitious crypto stings yet, Operation Token Mirrors, coming in as alert number 3. This time, instead of tracking down fraudsters after the fact, they created a fake crypto company themselves. Enter NextFund AI, a fictitious blockchain startup supposedly blending finance and artificial intelligence. Along with it, the FBI launched a digital token on Ethereum, making things look like this was going to be the next big thing. And just like that, the sharks came circling. Unaware they were walking into a trap, market makers like ZM Quant, CLS Global, and MyTrade offered their services to artificially inflate the token's trading volume and price, a classic wash trading scheme. And this is designed to make a worthless token look like a gold mine. What was their goal though? It was essentially to pump up fake demand, lure in unsuspecting investors, and then cash out before they collapse. But instead of easy profits, they got federal charges. When the operation wrapped up, 18 individuals and entities were charged across the US and the UK, and also Portugal. The FBI seized $25 million in crypto, deactivated dozens of trading bots, and exposed manipulation across 60 different digital assets. The sting proved that law enforcement isn't just playing the defense anymore. They're setting the traps, they're turning scammers' own tactics against them and making it clear that crypto fraud won't go unpunished. In second place comes the infamous Silk Road shutdown. In October of 2013, the FBI pulled one of the biggest stings in cybercrime history, taking down Silk Road, the notorious dark web marketplace. Created in 2011 by Ross Ulbricht, aka Dread Pirate Roberts, Silk Road was like Amazon but for illegal drugs, fake IDs, and hacking tools, all paid for in Bitcoin. Operating through the Tor network, it gave buyers and sellers complete anonymity, facilitating over 9.5 million Bitcoin worth in transactions, an amount that would have been worth over $500 billion today. But for the feds, it was a ticking time bomb. The break came when IRS agent Gary Alford traced Ulbricht's alias to early online posts.
Came across a posting on the Bitcoin forum about how someone could have a drug enterprise online and how would they do it. On his final posting in October of 2011, he lists his Gmail account, rossulbricht@gmail.com.
And in October of 2013, the FBI arrested him in a public library in San Francisco. He was literally logged into Silk Road's admin panel at the time, giving investigators instant access to the site's servers and criminal records. In 2015, Ulbricht was found guilty on all charges, including money laundering, computer hacking, and drug trafficking, and he was actually sentenced to life in prison without parole. The FBI seized 144,000 Bitcoin, worth $28.5 million at the time, later auctioned off by the US Marshal Service. Despite Silk Road's shutdown, it inspired a wave of copycat dark web marketplaces, proving that the war on online crime was far from over. And in 2025, after more than a decade behind bars, Ulbricht was pardoned by President Donald Trump, igniting huge controversy over digital privacy, cryptocurrency regulations, and also the limits of government surveillance. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. In first place comes the Bitfinex hack arrests. In February of 2022, the US Department of Justice arrested Ilya Lichtenstein and Heather Morgan for laundering nearly 120,000 stolen Bitcoins from their 2016 Bitfinex hack, a theft that triggered a 20% Bitcoin crash and remained unsolved for 6 years. The hackers exploited a vulnerability in Bitfinex's multi-signature secure system, approving unauthorized withdrawals through 2,000 different fraudulent transactions, then moving the stolen funds into a single Bitcoin wallet. From there, Lichtenstein and Morgan used a web of tactics to cover their tracks. They split the stolen Bitcoin into smaller amounts, funneled it through mixing servers to obfuscate its origins, and converted portions into other cryptocurrencies too. They also used fake identities, dark web exchanges, and prepaid gift cards to move the funds, pretty much undetected. For 6 years, they gradually transferred stolen coins across different wallets, but their biggest mistake? Storing private keys in these wallets in Lichtenstein's cloud account, which the FBI accessed, leading to the seizure of 94,000 Bitcoin. This was around $3.6 billion at the time. By 2023, both pleaded guilty. Lichtenstein got 5 years, while Morgan, an amateur rapper known as Razzle Khan, received just 18 months. This reality really hits the sweet spot, not only because of how many people were affected by this, but also because of how vulgar the pair were. Here's an extract from Razzle Khan's top song on YouTube.
This song is for the entrepreneurs and hackers, all the misfits and smart slackers. Russell Khan, the Versace better win. Come real far, but don't know where I'm headed. Motherfucking crocodile of Wall Street. Silver on my fingers and boots on my feet.
And I'm not kidding, according to Spotify, that was actually her most popular song. With the stolen Bitcoin now worth over $9 billion, a February 2025 restitution hearing will determine who gets the recovered funds. Their wild story even became a Netflix documentary. It's called The Biggest Heist Ever, proving that even the most complex of crypto crimes, they do leave a trail. And the FBI is watching. Just like the golden age of piracy came to an end when governments decided enough was enough, the crypto world is experiencing its own crackdown. For years, scammers, hackers, and shady market manipulators have operated in a space that they thought was beyond the reach of the law. But as these 5 stings prove, the FBI isn't just catching up, it's setting the traps. It's turning criminals' own tactics against and proving that blockchain might be decentralized, but justice isn't. As always, I'm your host, Bradley Peak. You've been watching the Symbiosis YouTube channel, and I'll see you next time.